This is Dr. Lance Davis. Now we're going to move on, still within Diving Medicine Module 1, which are the problems that a diver may need to go into the hyperbaric oxygen chamber for. And we're going to move on now to the classic condition, decompression sickness or decompression illness, DCS or DCI. Basically the same thing, different people use different terms. You're probably somewhat familiar with this if you're already a diver. Let's just review the basic mechanism first. When you dive and you're breathing any form of gas, whether it's normal air, which is about 80% nitrogen and 20% oxygen, or some mixture where they enrich it with oxygen and reduce the nitrogen, regardless, you are breathing nitrogen under pressure. And so you are going to onload into your cells an amount of nitrogen that is more than the normal physiological amount. Nitrogen is inert, so your cells do not metabolize it. They don't use it the way that oxygen does. So nitrogen will move into cells and out of cells. In your normal atmosphere, under normal pressure, nitrogen is going to just be breathed off or off-gassed from the body, and you're not going to accumulate nitrogen. You'll be in equilibrium with your atmosphere. But if you're diving for any significant period of time at any significant depth, and we're talking really 20 feet or more, you are on-gassing an abnormally high amount of nitrogen. Your dive tables are set up to give you an estimate, a very good estimate, of how long you as an individual can stay down, accumulate some nitrogen, come back to the surface, and slowly and safely off-gas that extra nitrogen. The tables are not perfect. Even if you do everything right, you could still get bent. If you do everything wrong, you might not get bent. It is a statistical table, but they are pretty darn good. So, a diver has gone down, has been down for a while, has on-gassed a significant amount of nitrogen. On the way up, they hope that the nitrogen molecules are seeping out of their cells and into their tissues and their bloodstream, molecule by molecule, and then the molecules are getting swept up in the bloodstream to be delivered to the lungs to be breathed out. That's the hope. But what we know really at the bench science level is that probably a lot of divers actually fizz. In other words, the molecules come out and are attracted to each other and make small bubbles which have surface tension, and those bubbles sit in tissue planes, joint spaces, various places in the body, and can cause dysfunction and pain. What may be happening is that the body sees those bubbles and thinks it's a foreign body and starts an inflammatory response. Just like if you had a splinter or other foreign body, and that can create some of the inflammation and thus pain that we see with decompression sickness. A lot of divers may have some small degree of nitrogen bubble accumulation which never becomes clinically symptomatic and is not treated. So it may just be that once you reach a threshold of bubbles and have a certain pain tolerance, a certain amount of inflammatory response, then you become symptomatic with decompression sickness, and that comes to our attention, and you may get treated in a hyperbaric chamber for that. Very mild decompression sickness may just be treated on an oxygen face mask, symptoms go away, and you never know about it.